In Egyptian mythology, Isis was the supreme sorceress, healer, and one of ancient Egypt's most important deity. A goddess worshipped all over the ancient world. She was originally associated with the throne of Egypt, which contained magical power, because it could turn a prince into a king. In time, she became so popular that all gods were considered mere aspects of Isis, and she was the only Egyptian deity who was worshipped by everyone in the country. According to an ancient Egyptian myth, there was nothing but chaotic water and darkness in the universe, until one day, a mound rose from the seas, with the god Atum standing upon it. Atum gazed out on the eternal nothingness, and recognized he was lonely, and so mated with his own shadow to give a birth to Shu, god of the air, and Tefnut, goddess of moisture. Atum alone longed for his children and worried over their safety, so he removed his eye, and sent it out in search of them. This eye would later become one of the most iconic of all Egyptian images, the Eye of Ra. Shu and Tefnut returned with the eye, having failed to create the world, and Atum was so happy to see them, he began to cry. As his tears fell, women and men sprang up. Shu and Tefnut mated, and gave birth to Geb and Nut, the earth and sky gods. These two quickly fell in love and became inseparable, a situation Atum found unbearable, as they were brother and sister. He pushed Nut high above Geb, so the two lovers would be able to see each other but never touch again. Nut was already pregnant by Geb, and soon gave birth to children, Osiris, Isis, Set and Nephthys. These gods were given the task of managing the realm of human affairs on the earth. Osiris married Isis, and as a firstborn, Osiris assumed the rule as lord of the earth. The couple took the role so seriously, that humans had lived a paradise life with plenty to eat. Set grew jealous of his brother's power and prestige, so conceived a plan to get rid of him. He had made a coffin to Osiris, and then threw a grand party where he presented this box, and told the guests that whichever of them fit in it most perfectly could have it as a gift. When Osiris lay down in the coffin, Set shut the lid on, and threw it into the Nile, where it was carried away towards the sea. Isis was devastated when she found her husband was missing, so she went searching for him all over the Egypt. Osiris' coffin traveled out of sea, and eventually became lodged in a great tamarisk tree growing near Byblos. The tree grew around the coffin, until it completely restrained it. Isis had left Egypt in search of her husband, and eventually came to Byblos, where she sat down by the shore and cried for her missing husband. Meanwhile, Malkander came to shore and admired the tree, so he ordered the tree to cut down, and brought to his palace as a pillar for the court, and there Osiris remained trapped until he died. Isis, who sat on the shore, drawn the attention of Astarte maidens, and taught them how to care for their hair and braid it. Upon returning to the palace, maidens were questioned how they had thought of plaiting their hair, and the maidens told her of the mysterious woman. Astarte sent for Isis, and asked Isis to be her youngest child Dictys' nurse. She became fond of the Dictys, and thought to make him immortal by burning away his mortal weakness. One night, Astarte entered the room, and found Isis placing her son in the fire. She screamed, and Isis assumed her true form as the goddess. Astarte and Malkander were terrified, and offered her any gifts she wanted. She requested only the pillar, which they swiftly granted. After leaving the court, Isis cut Osiris from the tree, and carried his body back to Egypt. Isis and Nephthys worked together to revive Osiris. Their efforts were successful. Osiris returned, but short-lived, to impregnate Isis and departed to the afterlife, where he became lord of the dead. Isis gave birth to Horus, who became the mighty warrior, and battled Set for control of the world.